Welcome to another video, guys. Today we're gonna talk about a little bit of a controversial topic, which is Raid Shadow Legends a free-to-play player-friendly game? I'm sure a lot of players that have not tried the game already have an answer in their heads, but I also think a lot of players that actually do play the game have the opposite answer in their heads, so let's dive into it. You're already noticing that I'm clearly nudging towards the notion that Raid is indeed pretty free-to-play friendly, and I'm gonna explain why, starting with the first forceful argument, which would be you can actually download the game using my promo code, either through the QR code or from the link in the description or in the pinned comment. And this is gonna net you a couple of endgame epic champions, which are gonna take you very far into the game. This is something I wish I knew when I started the game, and this would have made it a lot easier for me to actually be climbing with ease, so definitely use the download link and that's gonna skyrocket your progress. Personally, I started Raid as a free-to-play player most of the time, and nowadays I'm still considered pretty much a low spender. I do buy here and there, but nothing too crazy. And I am actually doing amazingly well. My account is actually only 2 years old, and you can see that with these new achievements we have. Tutorial class of 2023, and I actually did it in October if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, for a lot less than 2 years, I have managed to reach a very decent state in the game. I am doing amazingly well in Arena, like I'm gold 4 on Arena. I was supposed to be gold this season as well, but I got sniped last second. I'm always gold 5 in Classic Arena, and we're doing quite well on a lot of the other formats of the game. So yeah, you don't really need to be spending too much, if at all, and you're still gonna enjoy Raid massively. What I enjoy about the game is you basically gotta be pretty consistent with it. You gotta have a good strategy, good resource management, and they're also throwing a lot of free stuff at you with all sorts of things like daily login rewards, which can be pretty huge. Like after 30 days you get your hands on a pretty good epic, which is High Katoon, like one of the best speed leads you could be having this early in the game. After you play a bunch more, you also get your hands on the amazing legendary Syl of the Drakes, which is a perfect CC champion with revive, all that sorts of good stuff. So that's pretty massive, and along the way you get your hands on plenty of extra resources like energy, like shards, books, everything that you could be paying for, you're still getting plenty of it for free. But you definitely have to be strategic about how you use your stuff, and you gotta be patient. We also received tons of amazing cool new champions and cool free content. Like for instance, right now we have the Alice chase from Alice in Wonderland, which is a pretty cool plot Raid is exploring, and all you have to do is log in for 7 days and you get yourself on a pretty end game PvP champion like Alice the Wanderer. And I gotta say, the art is freaking amazing. Like, look at that bunny. Look at those little beans. But yeah, art is, as always, super cool. And Alice, she is a beast. She is literally a beast. And right now, if you start playing, you are gonna be able to get your hands on her after 7 days. And you're gonna be well on your way for some pretty amazing PvP action with her mostly, but she could be a pretty amazing progress champion for you as well. She is gonna help you in dungeons and whatnot, so definitely don't sleep on her. Today is the second best day you could be starting raids. Yesterday was the best one, or however that saying goes, I don't know. But yeah, not only do you get the champion after 7 days, you also get plenty of other free resources just by logging in. And you also get your hands on her 5-star perfect soul at the end, which massively improves the champion. Like 5-star souls is another thing that players that spend money in the game can get their hands on quite easily, but you can also get plenty like that for free, so this is a great example for that. Another thing that really helps you progress in the game without really having to spend much would be the all sorts of fusions we're getting here and there. Like for instance, you could even fuse yourself a mythical Lady Mikage. I haven't fused her because I actually opened my first mythical champion right before I was ready to fuse her. Like I had this thing ready and everything. I had most of the other things as well. All I had to do was level them up and ascend them, and boom, I freaking opened my first mythical, which was Mikage, so I was like, I don't need a second one right now, so I still have her here. But yeah, being able to fuse amazing endgame champions like this is also a pretty big factor. And not to mention, we also get to fuse each month some pretty amazing champions. Like, for instance, right now was the end of such a fusion for the Mad Hatter, which is an absolute god of a champion as well. Like, this guy is really going to be making an impact for anybody's account, even in endgame, and mine is also ready. Again, the art is absolutely amazing. I'm still working on getting this guy battle ready. I almost have all his masteries. Still haven't decided what relic I'm going to slap on. And I did slap together some good refresh gear onto him, so I'm able to use his skills more often than not. And yeah, the game keeps on giving you amazing fusions like that. I just got super lucky opening my Newt. First time Newt. I was actually not playing the game back in the day when this guy was a fusion. So I'm super excited about this guy. And look at that freaking art. I actually was lucky enough to win a skin for him on one of the tournaments, which again, skins are something people pay for. In most games, but in Raid you also get it as rewards as long as you're playing the game, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on one of those. Not that the normal Newt looks bad or anything like that, but look at this. This is actually the shield from the Fire Knight, which is absolutely insane. And if you guys actually watched the mini-series Call of the Arbiter, you're gonna see how this story comes about. Like, Newt is a key character in defeating that Fire Knight into the series, so definitely worth a watch if you haven't. You're definitely gonna enjoy it a lot. So yeah, the game keeps on showering you with such amazing legendaries. All you gotta do is play and have a good strategy, because you are gonna need to finish tournaments, you are gonna need to summon champions, and it's really, really easy. Like, it's far from hard, you just gotta be smart, you gotta have a strategy. But if you prefer, obviously, you could just go to the shop and spend a little here and there, and that's also gonna give you a lot of benefits, of course. Personally, I did say I do spend here and there nowadays, and the main thing I spend for nowadays would be this thing. This thing is absolute no-brainer. Like, if you enjoy the game, getting your hands on 2,000 plus gems, yes, it's gonna be across 1 month, but if you have a good spending habit for gems, you are gonna have a nice little buffer for yourself anyway. So this is definitely something very worth buying, and honestly, I'm just gonna throw the 10 bucks at them right now, because I do enjoy the game, and this is a nice little appreciation, you know? It's definitely not a bad idea to support the game you enjoy, and I am no stranger to that. So yeah, this is definitely one of the best things you could be buying if you decide you want to be spending in raids, and it's really massive. It's a really massive benefit. Being able to have a good stockpile of gems is gonna ensure you are able to do everything you need to do in the game. For instance, you're gonna have plenty of energy to refresh, so you can do all sorts of tournaments. And if push comes to shove, you could even do something like buy sacred shards for gems, which is honestly not an amazing deal, because you do actually get your hands on plenty of sacred shards for free if you have a good strategy in the game. But if push comes to shove, this is another thing you could be doing in order to remain free to play, basically, because gems, you actually also earn them for free. As long as you have the mine, you're gonna be getting 15 gems per day like that for free. And if you do well on all sorts of tournaments, all sorts of different events, that's also going to give you plenty of gems here and there. Like, I got 50 here, got 75 here. Not to mention, you also have plenty of other ways, like things like dungeon divers, gear enchantments, other tournaments. Right now we have the Alice Queen's Fury tournament, which is also already got myself 40 gems for free, and these are things that happen daily. Like, you literally gain something along the line of 200 gems per day if you're finishing all the tournaments, all the ways you could be exhausting potential gem drops. And yeah, if you play the game like that, you will be able to remain free to play for as long as you like, but nothing wrong with spending if you enjoy the game is what I'm trying to say. If we gotta be completely honest, the only thing that Raid is not free to play friendly with would be high-end arena, and here there's no going around it. You have to either have spent tons of time into the game, or you just have to have spent a bunch, because the top platinum players are really absolute beasts. Like, if you're a free-to-play player, I doubt you're gonna get your hands on a 4 times Marichka, 4 times Terrace. That's probably not gonna happen, and that's okay. At the end of the day, that's okay. You don't need to be mad about other people actually spending in the game. In the end of the day, if other people are spending, that's what makes the game free to play for you. And you get to decide, do you want to also be a spender and support the game like that? Or are you just gonna grind it out and have fun in all of the other different areas of the game? Obviously, in live arena, same can be said again. Here, again, we can see what the top players look like, and look at this monster. Seriously, almost 100 million power in total. I myself am sitting at 14, but then again, he probably has been playing for quite a lot longer than I have. This guy is above 100 million, so yeah, definitely quite the monsters on the higher ranks. But that's the cool thing, you don't need to face these players. You're not gonna face these players because the game has a matchmaking system, and it's usually going to be matching you with players close to your power level, so you don't need to feel pressured into spending in order to be able to compete with stuff like that. The other thing would be things like clashes, like Hydra Clash and such. Here, obviously, if you are a spender, you are going to be able to do a lot more than people that have not spent, but again, it's not something that you need to feel pressured in order to do. If you just lose a clash this season, you're probably gonna face weaker guilds next time, and you're gonna be able to beat those because it's gonna be a more fair matchmaking for you. Another thing people think is really important in Raid is to have your hands on every single champion in the game. And honestly, no, that's not something you really need to care about too much. Yes, having all the OP legendaries is cool and all, having all the OP mythicals is awesome, but in the end of the day, Raid is a game in which you could do a lot with just a handful of champions. Like, a lot of the champions duplicate in their roles. We have supports, we have nukers, tanks, healers, that kind of deal. You don't need to have all of them in order to have fun in the game. You just need to be creative and use them efficiently. For instance, I'm super envious of people that actually have access to this monster of a champion, White King Narcisse. But honestly, he was also actually free to play, somewhat friendly, accessible, because all you had to do is stockpile a bunch of void shards, and he was actually a guaranteed summon that way. I myself sadly have not played the game that long for me to have been at the amount of shards needed to summon this guy when that event was out, but you can still open this guy if you keep on opening void shards. All you gotta do is get lucky. But what I'm trying to say is, yes, this champion is absolutely insane, and if I was a spender, I probably would have gotten him a long time ago, but in the end of the day, this is just one of many options for your nukers. For instance, right now I'm absolutely wreaking havoc with my 5-star 4. He is also an absolute beast of a champion, and I also really like the Viking lore, so that's definitely bonus for him. So yeah, even as a free-to-play player, you're gonna be able to experience a lot of powerful champions. You're just not gonna be able to experience all of the powerful champions, which you should be okay with in the end of the day. And if you're not, well, get your wallet. It ain't gonna get itself. And speaking of which, champions I wish I had, and I didn't for a very long time, one would be Rector Draft. I literally opened her like just a few months ago. Like I said, you could be using my download link in order to get her for free just by finishing the tutorial through my link or from the QR code. And she's an absolute monster. Like, look at this. She gives you revive, perfect veil for the Hydra. She gives you plenty of healing. Really massive champion to have in the early and, like I said, even late game. And I also recently got myself an Ugo, and right after a second copy of Ugo, so now I'm the proud owner of a +1 Ugo, which also is super good, giving you some leech action, giving you decreased defense, block buffs, as well as a good amount of healing. So another amazing champion you could be bringing to the Hydra. So definitely don't sleep on that download link, it's very, very worth it. And lastly, I guess we can talk about the rate of progression you could be expecting as a free-to-play instead of a spender, and yeah, obviously it is gonna be a bit slower if you're not spending in the game. You are gonna be progressing a little bit slower, but you're still gonna have tons of fun along the way. So it's not about the destination, it's about the journey kind of deal. You're definitely gonna be able to enjoy the game a lot as a free-to-play player. You're obviously gonna be slapping campaign with ease as free-to-play. You're gonna be able to do endgame content as a free-to-play player as well. Like, I did manage even to finish stage 30 of the new event dungeon, but I still can't really farm it effectively. And it also did require me to do a lot of regearing for some of my arena champions and such, so I can't really sustainably farm here. Instead, I'm slapping here. As you saw, I'm doing amazingly well in the arena, mostly as a free-to-play player. So yeah, all around, do let me know in the comments what you guys think about this topic. Would love to hear them, and you can definitely be sure I will reply to every comment under the video. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget you can download the game through my download link or from the QR code, and you're gonna be getting yourself some massive rewards. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video.